Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Saturday, September the 13th of the year 2025. It's a wonderful day here in Washington, D.C. And right now is around 12:30 p.m. Washington, D.C. local time. And I would like to give an update. So the update today is about the milestones we have made since I released the mid-month update. So I'm happy to report to all our supporters that I did inform everybody that I'm going to be taking a 50% pay cut to go back to, as a data scientist, to go back to the classroom and support our principals and teachers in Kenya as they roll out the CBE curriculum. So I've reported for duty, and yesterday was my second day in class, and I had the opportunity to even take those Kiswate Digital Academy staff that I found in a meeting online. I was able to take them around the classroom, around the gadgets, and how a CB classroom should look like, and also the technology involved. Another update also, we have identified one of the teachers that have been using this technology for the last 20 years. He's a special education teacher. He did have maybe a few minutes chat with the KDA principal, Mr. Michael Ahendera. I've shared the details of the same with our deputy principal for Central Kenya, Madam Tabitha Mambo, and all is well. Somewhere along the line, we'll bring him on board to train our teachers so that they are able to identify and teach students with special needs. When I talk about students with special needs, I'm not talking about the disabled, the physically challenged students. I'm talking about those students that are mentally challenged. These are the students that get into our secondary schools with low marks like 100 out of 500, 200 out of 500, 150 out of 500. We cannot ignore them. We must find a way on how we can make them responsible people in the community so that they can contribute to the development of the economy. And that's the reason why we'll be bringing that teacher on board. So another update, I'm happy to inform all our supporters, including the principals of around 34 senior secondary schools distributed around the country, that today my former student at Olkejuado High School, Levi Bushuru, has accepted to work for us as an assistant data scientist. And I want to take this earliest opportunity to congratulate him and to thank him very much for accepting to work for us as a data scientist at half pay. What we are going to pay him as an assistant data scientist is not what he's supposed to be paid when he is working for companies like Safaricom, the banks, name them. So, and I need all principals and teachers to make an advantage of this so that they can know how to interpret the data generated from a school system. The school system has got a lot of data, and there's a lot of insights we can mine from this data. And once we mine the insights, we can use those insights as a competitive advantage so that we cut down the cost of operation of schools. We can also use the data to make money for the schools so that we don't have a situation whereby a school is almost undergoing bankrupt to the extent that they can't even afford to pay board of management employed teachers or staff. Some schools, I've talked to the principal, they can't even afford to feed the teachers, give them lunch, because they are broke. So that's the main reason why we are here. And another reason why we are rolling out this project is that principals are facing a big challenge, is a big headache to the principals, how to manage missed lessons and also shortages of teachers. As a situation arises in our schools where a principal is going around to see if teachers have reported the class, then the principal realizes that there are teachers who are missing. There are teachers who have not reported for duty. And these teachers do not report for duty because of their likeness, because it is not their wish not to report their duties. There are factors beyond their control which makes them not report for duty. And these factors are unavoidable. So we are coming up with a solution whereby if you are a principal of school, you are making your own normal rounds and you realize due to unavoidable circumstances, a teacher has missed reporting to school and therefore there's a lesson that is going on without being taught. We don't want our students to lose learning hours. We don't want our students to miss the opportunity of being taught. So what we are coming up with will provide an alternative solution whereby in such a school, if the school is a Kiswate adopted school, the principal will just go back to his office and look for a teacher online or look for a class that is going online and log in the class so that the class can be taught by an online teacher. And this way, we'll have like one teacher teaching like maybe 1,000 schools. So it will be cost effective. The cost of paying that teacher will be distributed among the 1,000 schools, 1,000 schools. I know it is not the best option, but it's better than students being left unattended to. And on site, we also have another teacher that we are calling class assistant teacher or class assistant subject teacher. So these are the teachers who will stay with the students online. We are going to pay them between 500 shillings and 1,000 shillings per hour when they do this in our classes in the adopted schools. The other issue that we are coming to solve is that with the CBC rollout, we expect a lot of shortages of teachers when 10th graders report in senior secondary school next year. Again, here we are coming up with a solution whereby if there's a school which will face such a problem, as they wait for the TSC to post them a teacher, they can log in into our system and have the students taught using our KDA global teachers. So those are two distinct problems that we wish to solve with effect from January next year when 10th grade students report in senior secondary school. With that in place, we do not want any school anywhere in Kenya to have the problem of missed lessons and the problem of shortages of teachers. So that is that. Another update I want to give. Another update I want to give is the appointment of staff. Apart from appointing Mr. Levi Bushuru as our assistant data scientist, I've also appointed Mr. Michael Ahendera as Kiswate Digital Academy principal, right now overseeing over 34 schools distributed equally in the Republic of Kenya. But by the end of the year, he'll be supervising over 10,000 schools. Now, to supervise 10,000 schools is not a walk in the park. And for that reason, we are going to have deputy principals, 8 of them, each for per region, and region here refers to the former 8 provinces that we used to have in Kenya when we had the other system. So we'll have a deputy principal for Central, and this is none other than Madam Tabitha Mambo. We'll have a deputy principal for Nyanza, and this is other than Mr. Sylvester Asuso, and we'll have a deputy principal for Nairobi region, and this is right now Mr. Andera is acting. He's gonna act up to March 30th, but on April 1st, we intend to appoint the deputy principal for Nile Road, Nile Road Senior Secondary School, Madam Betty Ikobe, to be the deputy principal for Nairobi region. We still have vacancies in 8 of the regions. We have a vacancy in Rift Valley. We have a vacancy in Western Kenya. We have a vacancy in Coast Province. We have a vacancy in Eastern, and we have a vacancy in Northeastern. We are still looking for 5 principals or deputy principals of Kiswate adopted schools to fill those positions. For you to fill the position, you must be a principal or a deputy principal of a Kiswate adopted school in that region. Now, the other question is, how will these deputy principals be enumerated? Once we start raising revenues, we would like to match their salaries with the TSC salary. We would like to merge their salaries with the THC salary. I've discussed this in details with Madam Tabitha Mambo. And we want to let everybody know that 75% of our staff are going to be the TSC employees. And when they work for us, they are first TSC employees before they are Kiswate Digital Academy employees. So we would like them to follow the rules, work for the TSC, as per the TSC Code of Conduct or as per the TSC Rules of Regulation, because they are first TSC staff, members of staff, before they are Kiswate Digital Academy members of staff. And if they lose their TSC job, they will also lose their job at Kiswate Digital Academy. And I think that is very clear. Our job, our program is to support the government of Kenya in rolling out the CBE curriculum. Our project is to support the Teacher Service Commission of Kenya to address the issues of missed lessons and shortages of teachers. We are not coming in to replace what they do. We are coming in to support the good work they are doing. But due to unavoidable circumstances, like an economy not operating at an optimum level, that is not the problem of TSC. That's not the problem of the principals of the schools. The whole world is broke. And most economies of countries in the world are facing the same challenges. The only problem is that the degree is different. The degree is different. And therefore, even with these challenges, we must come up with a way on how to make our country look better or operate at an optimum level. And educating our children, we cannot leave it to the government alone. There's that responsibility of the government, and there's that responsibility of the parent. There's also that responsibility of a public citizen like me. And that is how Kiswate Digital Academy is coming in. Another thing that I wanted to point out, when I reported, I was allocated a CB classroom with all the technologies. And we're going to install the technology, like the current technology I'm currently using in my current position, and in at least one school in 8 of the regions or the former provinces. And right now we have identified St. Mary's Ukwala High School from Nyanza region. If you are watching and you are from St. Mary's Ukwala High School, shout out to you if you are an alumni of the school, if you are a staff of the school. So we have identified St. Mary's Ukwala High School. We are working with the teachers, parents, and the principal very well. And so far, what is remaining is the board of management to give us the go-ahead, to give the principal go-ahead that Kiswate should go ahead and digitize your school so that Ukwala becomes 100% digital school in 6 years. Now, another school that we have identified is Jamahuri Secondary School, Dhika, under the able leadership of Madam Tabitha Mambo. Again, this school, everything is moving on well, and we have reached a stage where we are waiting for the board of management to meet, and when they meet, they approve digitization of the school by Kiswate in a period of 6 years. And when we are done, we'll donate all the equipment to the school so that they are on their own. Now, another school that we have identified is the region in Nairobi. Nairobi is our capital city. We first approached State House Girls High School, but up to now, we have not got a response, and things have to move on. Now, yesterday, we approached 2 schools. We approached Nile Road Senior Secondary School, and we also approached St. Patrick's St. Patrick's Secondary School, Shaurimoyo in Nairobi. And so far, the 2 schools are responding very well. At the moment, Kiswate's school of choice to hold the digital classrooms is St. Patrick's Secondary School in Shaurimoyo. Yesterday, I did send Mr. Hendera to go there and talk to the team, talk to the principal. Personally, I've got 1 hour a call with the principal, Madam Prisco Chieng. We did talk for 1 hour and agreed to move forward. However, he requested us to allow him time to seek permission for the board of management, which is the right thing to do. And tomorrow on Monday, we are going to send Mr. Hendera and our data scientist, Mr. Bushuru, who is going to be based at the school as a digitization engineer, to go and give her a letter of offer so that when she goes to the board of management, she knows exactly what she will be asking the board of management to approve. I'd also given the contacts for Madam Tabitha Mambo. I've given the contact for Mr. Yoya. I've given the contact from his senior principal, Mr. Jojo Nyango, so that they can compare notes, because he asked me a very tough question, and the question is, I want to share with you this question. And I call upon all the principals to come to my meetings, Zoom meeting, so that they can ask me tough questions like Madam Prisco Chieng. Congratulations to Madam Prisco Chieng for asking me this question. No principal has ever asked me, and the question was, this is Madam Prisco Chieng talking, can you please show me one school in Kenya where Kiswate is in action, where all this you are telling me virtually from your comfort zone in the United States of America, where I can see them on the ground. And I told her to go to St. Mary's Ukwala High School, where we have been sponsoring students for the last 5 years. Students are now at the university. She can talk to me, Madam Oaga. She can talk to Chief Principal Jojo Nyango. She can also go on YouTube channel and watch our AGM that we conducted on August 20th. She can also watch our YouTube videos, news bulletin, YouTube videos. Right now we are doing the 10th bulletin, and the next 2 weeks we'll be doing the 11th bulletin. She can also talk to Mr. Hendera. He can also talk to Madam Tabitha Mambo. Last week on September 4th, we pitched a tent at Jamhuri Secondary School in Thika, and I pledge to work with the schools in that area, because I'm going to roll out a scholarship program there for the next 5 years. We have also installed internet in 11 schools. Some of those schools include Jamhuri Secondary School, Thika, St. Mary's Ukwala High School, Kagonya Secondary School, St. Joseph Uyundo Secondary School. We have Sega Township Secondary School. She can get in touch with my digitization engineer to compare the telephone numbers for those principals and call to confirm if actually we have installed internet in those particular schools. We're going to continue with this exercise, and by September 22nd, when the lessons are beginning, we shall have installed internet in more than 15 senior secondary schools, and by the end of the year, we shall have installed around internet in around 50 secondary schools distributed around the country. It costs us between 50,000 to 60,000 to install one Safaricom 5G Wi-Fi internet in a school. And in the school, we want the following areas to have the internet: the school gate, the school public toilet for teachers, the staff room, the school kitchen, the school bus should have Wi-Fi internet on board, one digital lab, 3 classrooms that are gonna host Form 2, 2025, Form 3, 2025, and Grade 10, 2026. The other area that should have the internet that I'm going to add to the list is the school field. We want when the school students are playing, having games, the teacher can just sit there, watch the game, and browse the internet. So another thing, when I reported to the school, the first thing that offers CB curriculum here in the United States, the first thing I was given was a laptop, a very expensive laptop. This laptop goes for $2,000 US. It's a Dell, man. This is a Dell. I don't know whether you can see down there. I don't know. Yes, you can see it's a Dell. Very expensive. Very small. Very small. And yes, so this is what we intend to do in our adopted school. However, right now, we are still enabling, creating infrastructure. So until that time, we ask the teachers to use the concept of bring your own device and make a point of getting their own laptop. And somebody will be asking you as a teacher, a laptop is too expensive, I can't afford. Look here, if we are paying you, training you to pay you to 3,000 shillings per hour, 3,000 shillings per hour, and we are training you for free, and in a week you have 4 hours, times 3,000, that's 12,000. In a month, that's going to be 48,000. And I'm saying after 1 year, we're going to match this to your TSC salary, depending on how Kenyans will welcome this project and how the government of Kenya will also welcome this project. We're going to match your salary with the TSC salary, so you'll have double salary. Now, what is the big deal with looking for money, even from Mwalimu Cooperative, even from the bank, and borrow a loan, 60,000 or 100,000, and buy a laptop? Buy a laptop. When I'm giving you an assurance within 1 year, or sometimes even 6 months, even 2 months, because if 1 month is 48,000, 2 months is 96,000. You dedicate your pay for 2 months so that you buy a tool of trade. There is no way you can teach in a CBC school if you don't have a laptop. If you don't have a good phone, we will be pretending. We will be pretending. And me, I'm not your employer. Your employer is TSC. Me, I'm just a good Samaritan, bring you on board to train you. Because we sponsor students in the schools which you teach. We want our students to be digital learners. We spend a lot of money on them. We spend a lot of fees on them. So we want to take this opportunity to make sure by the time they graduate from high school, they are 100% digital learners, giving them a skill in their resume, in their CV, so that immediately after high school, we can hire them as remote workers. We are looking for 50,000 remote workers as teachers. We are looking for 1,000 digitization engineers as remote work. Where are we going to get them? We're going to get them from the students we are teaching, and the number is going to increase. So this is the reason why we are doing this. Otherwise, this is Kiswate TV. I would like to end here. It is exactly 1 p.m. in Washington, D.C. local time. I suspect in Kenya right now, or in the time is around, maybe, I'm not very sure, but I think either 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. because we changed our clock the other day. Thank you so much. And please follow me on Kiswate TV. Also support me by supporting any of the children in the adopted schools by giving them a scholarship. The students, the schools charge as the scholar, the school charge very cheap. It's only $100 in a year. $100 is 13,000 Kenya shilling. I won't mind even if you give us $10 to support them. We need all our students to go through schools. They are vulnerable. They come from vulnerable communities. They need to apply to be born in a vulnerable community. And we need to move forward with everybody. In the last 5 years, I've single-handedly supported, sponsored 300 students from my home schools in my home village. There were around 10 schools, and some of those students have graduated from the universities as engineers, as teachers, and medical doctors. And they are the students that I'm now using. They were recommended to me by the community. And they're the one that I'm now using as digitization engineers to give back to the community. And I'm so happy when I see a student that I've sponsored become a productive member of the community. One appointment that I did forget to announce is the appointment of Michelle Ouma as our per diem claims officer. I checked the data, so many people are claiming per diem, and I'm unable to process them. So I've employed an officer. Right now she's undergoing training, and she's going to manage the per diem claims. She's also going to manage our payroll. We're going to we're going to hire an expert to train Michelle on how to process payroll so that we can give each of our employees with the effect from 1st of October a pay slip showing him or her how much money we have deducted as taxes that we intend to submit to the KRA, Kenya Revenue Authority, so that KRA may not close our organization. Thank you so much. Interact with me on comments. This video is going to be on YouTube in the next 30 minutes. And please, thank you so much for being my follower on YouTube. I want also to give a shout out to my students at Jamhuri Secondary School, not Jamhuri Secondary School, at Kenyatta Secondary School between October 2nd, 2001 to December 31st, 2005, when I worked in that school as both maths and physics teacher. These students have formed a group for me. They are numbering 17 right now, and the group is still growing. And what are they saying? They're saying, teacher, we want to talk to you. Teacher, we want to talk to you. And what are they telling me? They're asking me how they can relocate to the United States of America. They're asking me how they can support more of the vulnerable children in their schools. They're asking me how they can work for me as remote workers. And I really like this. And I'm calling upon all my former students in all the schools I worked in to come forward and to talk to me. They should come forward and talk to me. Congratulations to Grace Wamuyu for putting this together. Thank you.